I'm really interested in your topic, and not only your topic about self compassion and mindfulness, but your approach to it based on the scientific connection between mind, body, and its application in caregiving, how it can help us with the experience of caregiving. Can you share a little bit more about that and how you came to that, become an expert in that field?
So I got interested in the subject of compassion after my husband passed away, and I had found, I'm sure a lot of caregivers have experienced this, I felt very isolated. I didn't feel like the world was a compassionate place for myself or my children. So I started studying, got involved at UC Berkeley online. You know, they have a lot of online resources there in Stanford. They've both started organizations that talk about the compassion of science and happiness.
Mm.
I did a lot of studying there. In fact, I'm taking a course there right now. So, and one of the things that they talk about, and you know, of course, they refer to lots of resources from experts in the field that I've read. And one of the things they talk about is self-compassion, not just in terms of caregivers, but in terms of preventing burnout and caring for ourselves. So self-compassion is very healing. And I think when we heal, then we're able to be more compassionate with other people. And they talk about the science behind that. So self-compassion and compassion actually, the researchers have determined is really good for our health, not only our psychological health, but our physical health. Right? It reduces our stress, it reduces inflammation, it strengthens our immune system. And it's all about connecting with other people. I think we've lost sight of how much we need other people. We've become a culture of, you know, everybody can do it on their own. We're very independent, and some of that is good, but we have strayed too far, I think, from the importance of social connections in our lives. And one of the best ways to build those social connections is through compassion.
Absolutely. That is so true. And the ability to authentically connect with other people by first nurturing our compassion that we have for ourselves. I was looking at some of your material the other day, and it said, give yourself a hug. And so I gave myself a hug. And we don't think about doing things like that, but it actually makes a physical difference.
Yes, and I think part of the self-compassion piece is that when we accept ourselves as we are and forgive ourselves and love ourselves, and that's not in the narcissistic sense, then we can be more authentic with other people. We're more accepting and less judgmental of other people because we're not functioning on this, you know, in our culture, we're all about image, right? You know, we have this image of the perfect life, or I'm the perfect caregiver, or I'm the perfect whatever it may be. And part of that is, I think that's, you know, just everybody blends their personal and business. So you're almost afraid to let your guard down. What will that mean for you?
Right.
But I think until you can tap into that and accept yourself and forgive yourself, it's harder to do that for other people. So I think the first piece of that is to look at ourselves, accept us the way we are, love ourselves the way we are. And then we can be authentic with other people. And I think to me, that's an important piece. I know when my husband passed away after being a full-time caregiver, I was kind of riddled with regrets, and, you know, I wasn't this, I wasn't that. And then I had to let go of that. There's no perfect caregiver, right? I mean, we do the best we can, and
Absolutely.
we love people. And that's, if we love them, they're willing to forgive a lot. So I think that's the big piece. It's different than self-care. I have a lot of people go, oh, that's self-care. Self-compassion is very different than self-care. Self-compassion is rooted in science. It's a mindset. There's some simple practices that people can use to develop self-compassion. I mean, it's like anything. You can go as deep as you want into it. There's classes, courses, workbooks, which I do for individual groups or individuals, for small groups or individuals. But there's also simple things that we'll talk about at the conference. And I have some handouts about some simple practices that people can do that are easy to incorporate into your busy lives that can start you on the journey to developing self-compassion.